Hey everybody, just before we hop into the episode of the Quick Save podcast here today, Alex and I wanted to go over a little intro here. It's been a little bit since we recorded again. I know we said that last episode, we're saying that again.
We say that every episode.
It's pretty much what it feels like, but we are trying to consistently record again, starting with our 3-long monthly blocks. So we're going to be starting with Hawktober. Here, the month of October is going to be Hawktober, where we play nothing but Tony Hawk games and rate them and play them and talk about.
We have a leaderboard for Tony Hawk.
Yeah, talk about how much we love the franchise and music, and then we're going to do No News November, in which we're not going to talk about games at all, except the one game we picked to do a long play, which we know what it is, but we're not going to tell you. It's a secret for now.
Teaser.
And then finally, we're going to do December, where we play a bunch of PSP games because that was fun last year. So let's keep it rolling.
I don't know. Can we beat Work Time Fun?
Work Time Fun, dude.
My car got hit the other day. Did you see the football game last week? My team lost.
Oh no, my pencil broke.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
I wonder if
Can it
my
get better
wife
than
will
that?
be home.
Can it possibly get better than me putting caps on pens while sad people mumble about their mundane lives? I hope not. I hope that's the peak of it. I hope we peaked year one with Work Time Fun. God, that game was amazing. But yes, that's going to be our 3 blocks. Hawktober, No News November, December. And that should get us through the rest of the year. We're going to be working like crazy to make it happen for you guys. So please listen and enjoy your very first episode of this year's Hawktober.
Welcome back to the Quick Save podcast. My name is Alex.
I'm Josh.
And it is finally the best time of the month, the best time of the year, the best time of anyone's time.
My birthday?
It's Hawktober.
My birthday?
No, Josh, no.
Aww.
It's Hawktober!
Yeah, it's pretty much my birthday.
It's everyone's birthday in Hawktober. Let's be real.
Yeah, amen. What are we going to talk about today? Some awesome Tony Hawk game that redefined the genre?
Oh, man, how'd you read my mind.
Yeah. So probably like Thug 2 or...
No.
American Wasteland? Thug 1?
No.
Pro Skater 1? 2?
No.
4?
No.
Don't tell me we're playing Project 8 again. I can't put myself through that.
No, it's okay. It's about the same as Project 8.
Wow, that's okay. We're going to talk about that later. Holy crap, this game's way better than Project 8. We're playing Downhill Jam.
Yes, Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam.
I'm going to mention something right at the top of the episode because this actually is really important in my opinion. We played the PS2 version.
Yes.
Yeah, that is going to be actually really important because I hear that the PS2 version is actually the worst version of this game.
Somehow that's so hard to believe, but also from what we played, totally believable.
Yeah.
All right, so yes, Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam was not what I was expecting it to be. Let's just get that out of the gates.
Let's talk about the factual info about the game, and then we'll talk about gameplay.
Yeah, we read the factual info before we played this, and I was like, that sounds interesting. And then it completely differed from every thought I had. So why don't you start us off here?
All right, let's talk about the facts. Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam. That's the name of this game. Release date. This was a Nintendo game. That was the whole bit. It was a Nintendo game. And so it came out on the DS, the GBA, and the Wii. It was a launch title for the Wii, if you can believe it. You bought a Wii, this was one of the 5 games you could get.
It's
Well, who's playing that? Everybody's playing Wii Sports. You played Wii Sports, you're like, Wii Sports sucks. I'm going to go play Tony Hawk. And then you played that, and you were like, okay, I'm going back to Wii Sports. Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam, it was on the DS, Game Boy Advance, and the Wii, launch title for the Wii. Came out October to November 2006. And then it came out on the PS2 on May 8th, 2007. Yippee!
What is the best version of this game?
The
is
DS.
it the Wii?
No, it's the DS.
The DS?
Oh, we'll get there. I've got information that you don't even know about. This game was developed by Vicarious Visions and Toys for Bob. Both are Tony Hawk alumni. Vicarious Visions did all the GBA games.
Yep.
And Toys for Bob did...
All the spin-offs, really.
Nope.
No?
Toys for Bob did... you think of Vicarious Visions did all the spin-offs.
Oh, okay.
Toys for Bob did the Disney's Extreme Stadium Adventure.
Yeah.
That's the only other one they did other than this. Gameplay. This game is Project 8 with racing. But the game is too fast for its own good. It's impossible to control characters.
Facts.
We'll talk about it later. The plot of this game. I'm going to have a couple things to say, but just to give you a general breakdown. This game is a reality TV style show, also starring Tony Hawk. Pretty much, it's Tony Hawk's Underground 2 meets the real world.
Such a good way of describing it, honestly.
You race. In what we played, there is something different on the DS version that makes it superior. Well, here, let me just talk about the DS stuff. So DS has a story mode. In the story, you're trying to recruit skaters into Tony Hawk's skate crew. Well, that sounds familiar. Project 8 knocking on the door. So you need to recruit skaters and battle a rival crew battled by Antonio Siegel.
Okay.
Tony Hawk, Antonio Siegel. Get it? To recruit the skaters, you got to beat a bunch of challenges, and then you challenge that skater in one of 3 events to earn a medal. So you earn the medal, and then you finally challenge the skater. The story, now this is going to blow your mind. The story of the DS version can be treated as a sequel to American Skateland, also a Tony Hawk DS game.
What?
As the skate park featured in Downhill Jam's opening and closing cutscenes is American Skateland, the decrepit skate park from American Skateland. You heard me right, there's cutscenes in the DS version. There's a story mode with cutscenes and levels and challenges, unlike what we played.
That is nothing like what we played.
And it's like hailed as like one of the like best use of like 3D graphics on the DS ever. Like, not kidding. Like, not a joke.
My mind is being blown
We'll talk
at
about
this very moment.
We'll talk about ratings and scores later. No Famitsu rating. I'll just spoil that right now. For the rest of the
No, we need Famitsu.
I don't know if Japan got this one or not. So yeah, PS2 and Wii don't have a story mode. So PS2 and Wii are pretty much the same game with some slight differences, but they have Downhill Challenge, where essentially they just give you a bunch of events. It's like a Shadow the Hedgehog level tree, where there was like the hard, medium, and easy, right? Here's the kind of events you can compete in. There are race events, which is like a race for up to 5 people. That's the whole game, is you're racing downhill. Races, you want to get there first. So first to the finish gets a gold, second gets silver, third gets bronze. Easy enough. And then these medals give you points. So like gold is worth 3, silver is worth 2, bronze is worth 1. Then you use those points to unlock future events and levels. Slalom events, which is up to 2 players, where the objective is to get to the finish line before time expires, with the only way to earn more time to hit a blue slalom gate. Then you've got trick competitions, which is a 1 to 4 player skateboarding trick session where the objective is to score as many points as possible by doing tricks. There's a lima race, 2 to 4 player race, consists of the time clock counting down, with the last player being eliminated from the race once time hits 0. That's just eliminated from burnout. So the next event is called Steal the Head. It's only playable in multiplayer mode, a 2 to 4 player race downhill with the leader who has a head on their character's body, and the other characters appear headless if they're not in the lead. So it's like King of the Hill, but you want to be in first place. And then there's Special, which is a 1-player miscellaneous event, only playable in 1-player mode that can consist of players destroying things or even knocking out pedestrians. We did a couple of those.
Yep.
Let's talk about the levels. Okay, I'm going to name the location. You're going to tell me what city it is, okay?
Okay.
California.
Los Angeles.
Incorrect.
San Francisco.
Correct. China.
The Great Wall.
No. That's racism, I think. No. Not the Great Wall. Name
Beijing?
Nope, not Beijing.
Oh my God, Hong Kong?
There you go, Hong Kong. Not the Great Wall.
I can see them doing the Great Wall. At the Great Wall, they had the toboggan races, or not the toboggan races, but the toboggan, like, slide down.
All right, Scotland. Name a city in Scotland.
Man, testing my world knowledge of Scottish cities. Why can't I think of it?
All the Scottish fans are going to be really upset when you can't name one Scottish city.
I honestly can't think of one.
What do you... I'm hungry. I'm going to blank some food.
Eat.
Okay? But it's really cold out, so I'm going to shiver. And the noise I make when I shiver is...
Burr.
Put them together.
Eat burr?
Sure. Edinburgh. Right? Edinburgh.
Okay.
Peru?
Machu Picchu?
Correct. That one they did do the historical landmark. Brazil. Do not say the statue of Jesus.
The statue of Crystal. Man, Brazil, huh?
I'll make it really easy. There's one city in Brazil.
Yeah, Rio. I
Rio de
can't remember
Janeiro.
the full name.
They just call it Rio. But
All right.
Rio de Janeiro.
Rio de Janeiro. There we go.
Italy.
Vatican City.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Skate with the Pope. Unlockable character.
Rome.
Yep.
Okay.
Switzerland.
I don't think I know it.
Okay. What's in Switzerland?
Mountains.
Okay. And those mountains are called the Swiss.
The Swiss Alps.
Boom. Got it? You're going to love this last one. Illinois.
Chicago?
Okay. Kind of.
Kind of.
Okay, the first word is Chicago. If you want to go shopping in Chicago, you would go to a...
Mall.
Which would make it the...
Chicago Mall.
Boom, you nailed it. The Chicago Mall. And the famous... they couldn't do Mall of America. You'd have to pay the trademark, so they did Chicago Mall. Let's talk about the characters. I will mention this is where we differ a little bit on the PS2 side. PS2 had 3 extra characters. Isn't that great?
Ooh.
All right, I'm going to give you the characters. I'll have to go find the PS2 ones in a bit. Amon, politically minded skater known for getting high air.
High air.
No, that's no.
I see what you did. I see what you did.
He's not the weed guy. We'll get there. Dude, guess which one you think the weed guy is.
Okay.
Bud with 2 Ds.
Nah, it's not him.
A quiet guy who has weird visions in his head. He wants to get a tattoo from every continent.
Definitely not him.
Crash, a skater known for...
being safe.
Man, that's so weird. He's known for crashing.
God, how did I miss that?
His real name is...
Bud?
No, that would be weird if there were 2 Buds. His real name is Gaylord. Dude, isn't 2006 humor hilarious?
Oh,
He's called... His name is Gaylord. What's so funny about that? Gaylord's a real name. People are called Gaylord.
Do you know? God.
Ask me to name one guy named Gaylord.
Name one guy named Gaylord.
Gaylord Fokker from Meet the Fockers. His name is Gaylord Fokker. Isn't that awesome? Gunnar, a strongman from Norway who shows little to no consideration for others in racing. Kyla, an aspiring musician from Queens who wants to promote her music by becoming the top skater.
Okay.
Jinx, a goth girl who other skaters believe is the cause of their bad luck in races.
Hell yeah,
I
brother!
don't think that's our girl. Our girl was one of the PS2 specific ones, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Mackenzie, a British female punk rocker who is quick to get into a fight.
Okay.
Blimey, I've been skating down freaking Rio de Janeiro. Tiffany, an aspiring fashion queen who is often classed as a social stereotype, despite her good balance on a skateboard. She wants to start a fashion empire in Rome after she becomes top skater. She's like the Paris Hilton, like...
Okay.
You're like, oh, she's so ditzy, but she's actually, like, not ditzy.
Man, 2006 coming real strong out of this.
And then the legendary skater, Armando Utbach.
Oh.
Legendary skating daredevil from the 70s who has come back from a near-death experience and attempted skating underwater to prove that he's still the best. It is also believed that he is Crash's father. Anyways.
No.
Here's
no more.
Here's the characters in the DS game. They're different than the ones in the PS2 and the Wii game.
Okay.
So I'm telling you, the DS game is completely different from what we played.
So you're saying Hawktober next year, revisit.
No comment. Contessa Clifton, talented style skater, part of Tony's team. Lachlan McDuff. Scotland forever. Lachlan McDuff is considered a Scottish skate punk by Antonio Seagull. Ivan Grozny, a talented slope skater that pilots the private jet for Tony's team as well as being in Tony's team. Get you a man who can do both.
Get you a man that can fly and slide.
Fei Lu, considered the best skater in Hong Kong, part of Tony's team. DJ Darkslide, a Brazilian disc jockey. They spelled it jokey on the wiki. Get that shit fixed. Somebody out there fix that on the wiki.
Log into your wiki account, fix that.
A Brazilian disc jockey that makes his music while skateboarding. That music sounds like it would suck really bad. Yeah, just hear the wheels as he's rolling along.
Yeah.
Part of Tony's team. They're all part of Tony's team. There are no characters that aren't on Tony's team. Antonio Seagull An old school skater trapped in the 80s, he's also Tony Hawk's rival in story mode. The name is a reference to Tony Hawk. Yippee.
Do you think
He's the Nega Tony?
Do you think Antonio's
Antonio,
dad and or family member is Steven?
First of all, his name is Seagal, not Seagull. And I hope... Let's talk about the price.
Oh, no, not the price.
Guess how much? Loose.
Loose, like $5.
$4.
That's close.
Complete?
$7.
$4.39. DS.
All right, this is like the best version, so it has to be like expensive. We're gonna say $10.
It's $7.93.
Okay, so not terribly off.
Complete.
We'll stay with the $10 still.
$7.99.
Okay.
6 cents more than the loose copy. Game Boy Advance.
It's probably like hot garbage, right? So $3.
$4.69. More than the loose Wii version. Complete.
It's cardboard. It's not hard plastic, so it's harder to find altogether. It was touched by a child at one point, so destroyed is more accurate. We're gonna say to find one of them, it's gonna cost you $12.
$10.15.
Ooh, that was a close.
PlayStation 2.
Arguably worst of the games. $5.
$10.33 loose. Complete.
$12.
$10.41.
What is with this game? Nothing makes sense.
PS2 is the most expensive copy. Like a loose PS2 copy, according to price charting, is more expensive than a complete GBA copy.
What's real?
What is real? Let me go talk. I forgot about the other characters. Okay, we have Fang, who is a Malaysian skater punk. Oh no. Victor, who is a Mexican American. They put this next one in quotes. Cholo.
Oh no. Oh no.
Skylar is an emo who often says things like, "I'm sad that I'm winning, and winning is failing to fail." I think that was our lady.
Was that our girl?
I think so.
All right, so we should reference why we were saying that. So on the PS2 version, we picked the goth girl because her like.
I would say pick the goth girl. I would say like the only character worth playing was Tony Hawk or the goth girl.
And we picked her because her blurbs were pretty hilarious, to be honest. And there was like little like intro videos and stuff that would pop up when you went to go race or when you won, and she would always be like, "I hate this." We're like, "We hate it too. We're right there with you, sister."
But then in the beginning, because every time you load into a level, yeah, they have these little blurbs, right? And her things in the beginning were always like, you would think I would hate the like Paris Hilton prissy skater, but she's like, nah, she's actually really cool. Oh no, we did not play as Skylar. You're right, we must have played as Jinx then. Jinx.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure it was Jinx. Yeah, her and the preppy girl like become best friends.
Yeah, they super get along, which I love.
Where the preppy girl is like rainbows and sunshine, and she is thunderclouds and storms.
So yeah, let's talk about the game. What did you think, Alex?
I think, we played the PS2 version. I think that this had huge potential to be so good.
That's the thing about this. It's fun. Like, straight up.
Yeah.
This game is fun. It is not trash. You called it as bad as Project 8, which is like, holy shit, what a scathing remark.
I can explain that hot take I made. Look, the gameplay, for the most part, is awesome. The whole like downhill skater thing, if you don't know, it's a real sport. It's actually part of skating. What killed it was this rubber banding system that they had
in the racing. Yeah,
when
you do the racing, they do rubber banding, which if you haven't played a racing game, that is where they take the slower players like the AI and they have them catch up to you.
And there's good rubber banding and there's bad rubber banding.
Good rubber banding is like they stay close and it's still a fight, but it's not like you lose every time.
It's not like they're slinging past you.
Exactly,
either.
Right. So this has bad rubber banding, which is like you're in first and then
it takes one or two and it shoots them past you.
Yeah, some dude just gets ahead of you and you can never beat him because he's an AI who can play the level perfectly, right? And so you're going to fuck up a bunch because you played the level like 5 times. It was tough. Especially we played some of the later levels just to see what it was like, and it's tough. It's nasty, especially those races.
My favorite part is that at one point we entered all the cheat codes. We had some fun. We'll talk about that in a minute. But we entered unlimited boost, which just makes you the fastest you can possibly be.
And even then we were losing.
And we were losing
still losing with unlimited boost.
So the game had to cheat us because we were cheating.
Yeah, because again, that's the bit, right? Is like rubber banding is like it doesn't matter how fast you go, the game is going to make them catch up. So even with unlimited boost, the dude's just going to catch up like it was nothing.
That is the type of gameplay that just brings it down. Like that type of gameplay is so scathing to me.
Yeah.
And so unfun that it doesn't matter how great the premise is, it just makes it not worth playing almost.
Yeah.
This game to me had so much potential to be like one of the greatest Tony Hawk spin-offs that we could have had if they would have made it less about that rubber band racing thing and more of the Tony Hawk aspect. Because there are times where you go and do tricks as you're going down. You find shortcuts, you make the jumps, you do all this.
That's kind of a big part of it too. Is like you need the tricks to build boost, right?
Yeah, and like the boost isn't even bad. I don't mind that.
Yeah, the boost is fine.
I
mean, the levels are built for it, right? So
yeah.
There's some levels that were kind of tight, like
London had a really tight corner.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it was Edinburgh.
Or Edinburgh.
Yeah, Edinburgh in Scotland. Yeah, that level was freaking tight, so you couldn't really boost at all. There's some levels like I was just watching Machu Picchu. It's like you can boost and just like the levels like go straight for a long time, right? So it's like I know Hong Kong's like that too because they had the like subway or like the tram tracks in the middle with the trains running by.
Yep.
So you could boost around. The levels were obviously built to handle that, right? So
yeah, there's San Francisco had some cool turns, like especially like in just like in real life when you're racing, as in video games. What makes racing fun and what makes you want to go back for more? It's the twists and turns. That's what makes it good. If you got good twists and turns, you want to go, man, that was so much fun. I want to go back and do it again. When you have things where it's like, okay, you gotten really good. You put a lot of practice in.
Mm.
Okay, you know the shortcuts. Okay, you have all this down. Here's an AI you can never beat, though. Sorry. Or here's an AI that like essentially has a gambling chance of winning.
Yeah, just completely unfair. Right?
Where you have like a 5% chance of potentially beating them. And like a 1% chance of that 5% chance to win. Why? What's the point of playing at that point? So that just destroys it for me. Everything else I thought was great. I didn't think it was honestly that awful, but it shows how something so small and somewhat insignificant can become like the biggest issue for me, at least. What about you, Josh? What were your thoughts?
I thought it was interesting. Just the whole concept. Racing through levels is like very unique to this game, right? There isn't really racing in any of the other stuff. I think Pro Skater 4 has some. Pro Skater 4, I think, has some. Disney Extreme Skate Adventure has some stuff, but it's not really racing. It's like skate around the level, hit these checkpoints, you're done.
Yeah,
right?
Or it's like you play the game of Skate, and you're like trying to keep up with your opponents, so you hit all the good spots too, right?
Right, but it's like that's the only kind of racing is like go through these checkpoints as like a little race, right? So this is really unique to the franchise. They haven't done anything like this since, probably for good reason. But it's still fun. Yeah, like tricking off these huge jumps and like flying through the air and doing these special moves. This is like SSX, right?
Yeah,
like, I'm not
it's essentially what it is.
It is SSX with skateboard. It doesn't look as good as SSX. The soundtrack isn't as good as SSX, but it's still fun and very unique. It also reminds me of Cruisin', like Cruisin' World.
Yeah.
Where, like you're going through all the different levels and stuff like that, and there's like destructible stuff.
Old like Cruisin' USA games.
Yep. My issue with this game is really the racing limits it so much, even with the little like extra game modes and the downhill challenge. It's like buying a car and you only use the passenger seat. It's like a complete waste to the rest of the... It's like you have a Tony Hawk game, make it a fucking Tony Hawk game. This would have been a cool game mode in like if they just put it in like American Wasteland or something, or
Yeah.
like if Pro Skater 5 had this, I'd be like, oh, that's cool, right? But like
I
as
think they
it's,
could revisit it and like relaunch this. If they just fix some things, I bet you this would do well.
I mean, me saying I want more of this would instead just be I want SSX3 remastered on modern consoles, right? Like instead of Tony Hawk's half-assed attempt to be SSX, just give me more SSX, right? Because I love SSX to death, and this was fun. But if I had to take SSX or this, I would take SSX every day.
Is
But
3 your favorite of that?
Yeah, 3 is awesome. It's got like a huge open world.
I'm a huge fan of Tricky.
Tricky's fun. I think the levels are good in all 3, but SSX 3 has an entire open world and like a shop, and you can buy cosmetics, and you can go from literally the top of the tallest mountain and go through every single thing in free mode all the way to the bottom. Anyways.
I don't know. I or even, you know, if they ever were to make another Tony Hawk game again, like you said, they
Fat
just
chance. Fat chance.
If they
I
introduce
wish.
this, it'd be good still.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fun. It's unique. It just goes old quick, right? You're just racing. Like, how many times did we lose? At some point, I felt like we weren't playing to play. We were playing to win because we were mad that we lost so many fucking times.
Oh god, it's so sad, but it's so true at the same time. I mean, then like the final level, like we had a limited boost, and you just can't win that.
Bootbog's just kicking our ass, man.
I mean, I remember where we were like literally half the map ahead, and he just caught up in the final bit and won. I don't even know how one does that.
Did we beat it eventually? Am I
No,
insane?
no, we didn't.
No, we did not. Rip. It's funny.
Like it's like I said, that is what ruins the game for me.
Okay.
Like even when you cheat, you still lose.
Let's talk about Ootbog. So the whole game, they're like, I heard this place is pretty cool. I heard that there was some crazy mad scientist who tried to do a crazy trick and wound up dying over it.
Yep.
And that's all they say, right? And they're like, they'll play, like when you're loading a level, it'll give you like a little tooltip, and it'll be like, "Tip Ootbog lives," right, or whatever, right? So they're like teasing, Armando Ootbog, who is not a real guy. He's just a fictional made-up character for this game. He wears like a Speedo swim cap.
He
and
looks
goggles.
creepy.
Yeah, and he's just this weird old guy, right?
Like he normally when you think of like secret characters and stuff, they're usually like pretty sweet or they have like some cool backstory that makes them awesome. This guy was just creepy. Like we got to the end there, and like I just was like I don't feel the need to finish this game. I don't want to like play as this dude.
Well, I wrote here obviously in previous games, Spider-Man, Wolverine,
Iron Man, Kiss.
Gene Simmons. Yep. You have these like badass, cool crossover characters.
the
right?
Swamp Monster.
Yep. Shrek.
Yeah,
Classic.
Shrek was in there.
In this, you do not get a cool character. You get Ootbog, who's just a guy.
Who, I mean, what was his specialty? He had just great stats, but like the Pro Skater things, you can unlock stat like builders. You can have good stats too.
Ootbog makes me sad.
Oopog creeps me the hell out.
It's just like, even if it had been like Bam, or like Bam Margera or something like that, it would have been cool for it to be like a throwback skater from a different game,
Yeah.
or in plenty of the other games they've done, like Pro
Hear
Skater.
me out. How
They
much
do, like-
better would it have been if it was Eric Sparrow?
That would have been good too, right? Or Paulie.
Polly would be really
Dude.
good.
No more grinding on wood chippers, eh, Paulie? That's right, baby.
Hear me out. What if it was the Dave Peralta
Dude, Stacy Peralta.
or
You got it
Stacey
wrong.
Peralta?
The Stacy Peralta? Yeah. No, I don't know. There's a million fun things they could have done with it, and instead they were like, what if it was just some random dude? I don't know. It's not funny. It doesn't feel fun.
They
That's what
coulda-
you get him when you beat the game.
I mean, like how like
So it's like, what?
Chad Musko would have felt better than this dude.
I'm throwing myself at the wall on the final level to beat it so I can unlock fucking Ootbog, so I can play through the game as Ootbog. That's not a reward. I don't feel rewarded in doing that.
They had so many original characters, and they had so many like other options too. Like they could have done anything fun.
Again, they could have gotten just like, yeah, like you said, Chad Muska or Bam Margera, like one of the old characters
I
or
mean,
something would have been fun.
How cool would have it been? You know, this was like you said, a Wii and DS release, right?
Mario.
How cool would it have been? We got like any Nintendo character.
Yeah.
It could have been Game and Watch.
Like the balloon fight guy.
Yeah, like anything.
Like Donkey Kong.
Or what if it was like Excite Bike dude?
These all suck, I think. Other than Mario, which I think was the only good one. Link would be cool.
Link would be cool.
And his skateboard would be the Master Sword.
Or what about...
Dude, we'd call it the Master Board. Holy shit, this whole thing is coming together right now.
I think it would have been cool if it was like an F-Zero car. I don't care,
he'll
right?
He'll do like the 900 of time or something like that to go back in time. Goodness.
There's so many good options, and they just didn't pick a single one.
Did he do like a slam? His special move would be like he grabs the board in the air and swings it like a sword a couple times, and then he puts it back under his feet.
He could jump
dude, he
and throw
throws
a
like
bomb
a boomerang.
down.
That's already won in one of the games. You throw the board like a boomerang and it comes back.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't know. Like I said, this game had potential.
Yeah, they blew it.
This
They
game
blew it.
was so cool in concept, and then they just threw it out the window. We're like, screw it.
I wonder if this was like a weird licensing thing where it's like they had the license and they were like, we need to make a game. Fuck it, we'll just make this game, even though it's not perfect and kind of sucks. We'll just release it because we only have, because that's what they did with like that was kind of the bit with Marvel's Avengers, right?
Yeah.
And, like all those. Was it Ubisoft? Who the hell made that?
Yeah,
EA.
Ubisoft.
Oh, it was EA, right?
Was it EA? No, I thought it was Ubisoft.
Oh, now I gotta double check. Oh, it's so much worse. It was Squeenix.
Oh no.
But yeah, anyways. Oh, it was Crystal Dynamics, who's now owned by Embracer Group. Rest in peace. Regardless.
Rip.
Yeah, they made Marvel Avengers because they were like, or maybe it's the game that's coming out next for them with the license. It's like they only have the license for 5 years. They made Marvel's Avengers. It kind of sucked. After like a year of content, they dropped it because they were like, well, fuck it. Nobody's playing it. We're going to turn it off. And we're just going to make a new Marvel game while we still have the license or whatever, right? So I wonder if this was like that where it's like, even though the game isn't perfect, they were like, I don't know. Fuck
Here.
it. We just got to release it. Whatever, right? We're going to lose the Tony Hawk IP next year and we won't be able to make anything. So we might as well release something, right? Especially around, again, this is pre-Project 8. And it shows there's some stuff in this. There's like the slow-mo when you're in midair, right? Like
there's the phone, I think, right?
Oh, I think they did use the same phone model. Or it wasn't that. It wasn't the phone model, but it was like sponsored by Nokia. They did have Nokia sponsorships.
Or maybe it was like the same pause menu or something. I can't remember.
There was some weird little thing like that. But yeah, it definitely shows. If you play Project 8 in this, you can tell the similarities are there. They definitely did take some bits from this and put them into Project 8. So
it's just like, I don't know. I wish we had so much more than what we did. I think Tony Hawk, the franchise itself, could be revived at any time. People still want to play this.
You say that, but it can't be because Blizzard Activision has Vicarious Visions on lockdown now.
Yeah.
Within the company. So because Vicarious Visions made Tony Hawk because they were their own thing, and then they immediately got bought out by fucking Activision after that. So well, sucks to suck, right?
If that were to be lifted, where they would let them,
if they could make another fucking Tony Hawk game, that'd be awesome. Because Pro Skater 1 and 2 was the greatest Tony Hawk of all time. So
yeah. So and people, what I'm saying is, people still want Tony Hawk.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That never went away.
Yeah.
It's the fact that they could just take every Tony Hawk IP they have and, produce something amazing again.
Yeah, this is like a perfect foundation, right? This is like a thesis statement for a paper or something like that, where it's like, this is a great start.
I know you're saying give me more SSX, but, I mean, if they somehow perfected this, I'd be happy.
I'd be fine with that, too.
Yeah.
It's not SSX, but it would still make me happy.
Or if they just incorporated a bit more of, like, Thug or, any of the other games into this one, holy crap, that'd be so good.
Yeah, I mean, like, so that's the thing is DS got a story mode and console play didn't, right? Like, if you had a Wii or a PS2, there was not a story.
Which makes no sense, but...
Right. You can definitely tell it was designed for the DS. And they already had a basis with Skateland, right? So, like, Vicarious Visions literally had the basis for another Tony Hawk game on DS with Skateland, right? Yeah, this is a perfect foundation. It just needed, like, something else around it. Like a story mode...
And they need to get rid of Oopbog.
Like Free Skate or something. Or, yeah, get rid of Oopbog also. That guy's scary.
Or like, imagine if they had like a park creator like they did in Thug games.
Yeah, see, like just a little bit more, where maybe you make your own level. Or,
Yeah, like they could use some generic like skate park thing, right? We don't need like the best, but like
they had Create a Skater in this. Am I insane, right?
yeah, they did.
Yeah, we made our own character first, I think, and then we eventually decided to go with
Jinx,
the scene lady, emo lady.
dude.
Okay.
When your quips are that good, how do you not play?
All right,
that?
let's talk about our favorites and least favorites.
My favorites was the idea behind the entire game. Honestly, like there are so many things about this game that I love, but there's also so many things that just don't work for me. I think it was really cool. This whole like feeling of maybe it's nostalgia kicking in for me, but like the whole like true life reality TV thing, they did that really well in my opinion.
Yeah, they nailed the like character tropes of each dude.
Yeah, and like it was
like,
cheesy, but it was good.
Yeah, it's very much like a picture of like the mid 2000s.
And like the whole like you saw relationships build. It reminds me a lot of like
unlikely friendships and stuff.
It reminded me a lot of like those old like you put a bunch of people in a single house and they had to live together.
Big Brother and stuff like that.
Yeah, Big Brother. Like it just reminded me of an MTV show almost, and I thought that was super cool.
It felt like Next or like an MTV reality show, right? For sure, it has that kind of vibe.
And I love that. I would love to honestly see someone
That's
do
the thing
that.
is like, that's what I keep saying. This is like, the game kind of sucks, but also it's fun to play. The dialogue is kind of funny and charming.
It's memorable.
It's very memorable, right? Like. This needed like this is not like an 8 out of 10 or even a 7 out of 10 for me. But like this is a solid like 5 out of 10 playable video game. Like I do not feel like this sucks, but I could definitely play this for a couple hours and be happy with that. You know?
Yeah, but yeah, like it's just stuff like that where it's like, man, there's so much I want to see more of, but we don't have that option. It's not available to us. My least favorite things is like the whole thing with like the DS. The DS is the only one that has a story mode. It feels like the console games at that point just kind of got like the leftovers. This is a game, and you're like, okay, but like you have like an actual built game on this other handheld. How could you not just carry that over? And I get like, different, do a whole lot of transitioning and how much time do they have, but it's like, wouldn't it be worth it at that point to do that? Maybe I'm crazy, right? But I don't know. It's the rubber banding that killed it for me. Honestly, I think I would like it way more. I kind of wish we could see something like this reintroduced, remade. Hell, I take a remaster.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
Like it sounds dumb, but like this was good. Like there are good parts to it. It's not like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. I could go back, replay that game nonstop.
Yeah.
But it's worth putting in, having some fun for a couple hours, putting it away.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you? What were your thoughts?
My favorite thing about this game is it wasn't afraid to take risks.
Yeah, huge risk for a Tony Hawk game.
Yeah, they were just like, what if we did something completely different? Like, what if we did something and it was not like any other Tony Hawk game that has ever been made? Huge jump in logic. And like I said, I mean, like, there are things in this that carry over to Project 8, the next mainline Tony Hawk game. So clearly they didn't mess it all up, right? Clearly there are ideas here that were good enough to keep for the future. That's my favorite thing, is that they really went for it and it almost pays off. Like, it's like decent to play.
All they needed was more time with it.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like.
My least favorite thing is that, once you played the game for like an hour, you're done. You played it all. There's no more to play. Once you played one of each level, you're like, oh, I get it, right? There's not enough. I mean, something like Disney Extreme Skate Adventure, which is just like Tony Hawk, but you're playing through Disney levels, that is great, right? That's something, okay? That's not just nothing.
It builds character for it.
Game where you race downhill. That's it. I don't know, right? Like, it's fun, but the concept needs a little work.
Even me as like a racing video game player.
Yeah.
I
mean, would you rather have this or Cruise and Blast, right?
I would take a cruising game over this any day.
Of course.
100%.
Right? It's It's a okay Tony Hawk game. It's an okay racing game. It's not outstanding as either. It's fine as both.
It's fine as both. That is like the most true statement you can make about this game.
Yeah. I'm not blown away. I'm a little blown away because I expected this to suck really bad.
Yeah, I mean that was the whole gimmick I think for us going into this.
We're like, this is the shitty game that sucks bad, and we were like, actually, it's okay. Like I didn't feel that bad playing it.
That's the whole point of Hawktober is us finding these Tony Hawk games that we may have never played.
Better to control than some of the other ones.
And finding these like gems hidden in the coal,
Right.
everything else. Like I'm waiting for the day that we load up a GBA Tony Hawk game and we're like, holy crap!
Actually, this is fucking amazing.
Like I'm waiting for it, right? It's gonna come. So for the listeners, if you've heard snoring throughout this episode, if we had never mentioned it before, I have a dog and she's awesome and I love her to death. And she snores like a freight train going past your window at midnight.
That's not just Alex passed out at the microphone.
It's not me just like complete like days on end just passing out intermittently.
All right, so here's why I think this game deserves a little backlog status, why you should play it at home. Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam is the red-headed Franken-game stepchild that is the mix between the end of the Thug era and the beginning of Tony's Dark Ages, which is Project 8 onwards. Although personally, we did play this kind of a while ago. It's kind of something we played, I think, like a decent while back.
I mean,
it still sticks out in our memories.
Yeah, like I literally, as we were like getting ready for the podcast, I literally told you, I was like, man, it's kind of crazy how much I remember this game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember it very vividly.
Like, let's be real here. It's probably been like what, a month,
At
2
least,
months.
Yeah, a month or two for sure.
And I still can recall us playing and us getting annoyed and us, celebrating our wins.
Yeah, and it sticks out in our mind mainly because of how weird it is. And let's be honest, it's a little fun, right? Like it was an enjoyable time. So you should definitely give this a try if you love okay Tony Hawk games, if you love okay racing games, if you hate bullshit racing AI, and love reality show nonsense. This is literally all of that wrapped up in one.
It's a beautiful little package of awfulness and greatness.
All right, what do you think you're going to rate this game? I think we might still be on the same page. So last year for Hawktober, we rank that's the whole goal here is we're ranking Tony Hawk games, not just Tony Hawk. Eventually, we'll get to more skating games like Skate and Skate 2 and Skate 3. And
what's our current rankings from last year?
Okay, number 1, the king of
Thug?
games is Thug.
Yeah,
currently.
I remember that.
After that's Pro Skater 3.
Solid.
After that is Extreme Skate Adventure.
Solid.
And then 4th is Project 8.
Oh,
that game sucked really fucking bad. It's pretty easy ranking for me.
And this, I would say, it is 4th.
Boom, you nailed it. It is way better than Project 8 because it's a playable video game that doesn't suck.
But it's not as good as
Extreme Skate Adventure, which is just Toy Story, like Disney-themed Pro Skater 4.
Yeah. And, God, that like, the nostalgia plus the amazing gameplay of that is just great.
It's fun, man. That game is fun, especially you can turn Pro Mode on, which just makes it legitimately a Tony Hawk game.
Yep.
Yeah, so now that makes our current rankings. Currently, we're still on the same page. That may deviate later this month. But yeah, so the current ranking is Underground, Pro Skater 3, Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure, Downhill Jam, Project 8. Should we
Crazy. We're 5 games in.
Right? Should we tell them what's coming up the rest of this year? Give them a little teaser.
Let's tease the next one too.
Let's tease the next one.
Okay. Little spice on the cake here.
Okay, and we definitely both have agreed before this moment what the next Tony Hawk episode is going to be. And I'll say 3, 2, 1, go. And when we say go, we'll both say the name of the next game we're going to play. And that is going to be...
Wait, what are the choices?
Brother, you can't even remember? All right, too bad. You better say a Tony Hawk game when I say go in a moment here. 3, 2, 1.
Tony Hawk's
Pro Skater 2.
Hey!
You fucked it up, but yeah, we did both thankfully say the same game. Holy shit. When you said what were the games again, I was like, holy shit, he's going to wrong thing, and I'm going to be forced to play Project 8 again or something like that. No, it's fun. Pro Skater 2 is going to be great. Pro Skater 3 is one of my favorites because you hit that PS2 era. You get closer to like your thugs and stuff like that, right? But got to give some love. Thug 2, first game to have a manual.
Dang.
Boom, didn't have it in Pro Skater 1. We wish. Those are the freaking Stone Ages back then, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
Barely knew what a skateboard was or a polygon.
Barely knew what a combo was.
Tony Hawk looks like he looks like a failed like 5th grader's clay creation.
Draw your dad.
Exactly. Some misshapen blob human. Yeah, but that's gonna be it for tonight's episode of Hawktober. Thanks so much for sticking with us, and we'll talk to you next week when we play a game that is probably like way better than this.
Probably way better.
Probably way better. Is it better than Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure? We'll see.
We'll find out.
Okay. I've been Josh.
I'm Alex.
This has been the Quick Save Podcast. Thanks for skating along with us tonight.
Join us for the next episode in Hawktober. Don't look at me in that tone of voice.
Sorry, you can't hear me because I'm going down the hill so fast. I'm gone. I'm not in the room anymore. I'm skating down freaking Machu Picchu right now, man. Against Utbag.
Oh, no.
Don't. Good night.
Good night.
Me stepping back into the podcast.